Happy January 1st, guys and gals. It is the first day of 2021 here at Garage Game Day Sports. I'm your host, as always, Louie. We will be covering the first of two college football playoff semifinals. Yeah, the Final Four are here. It's the Rose Bowl. Might as well be called the Yellow Rose of Texas Bowl because this game will be played for the first time in a long time at AT&T Stadium, Cowboys Stadium, the home of my Cowboys, Jerry World, between number 1 Alabama, undefeated on the year, and 10-1, number 4 ranked Notre Dame. It's the Rose Bowl. Let's go. Alabama, of course, undefeated on the year, pretty much wire to wire, sitting at number 1. That high-powered offense led by Mac Jones, Najee Harris at running back, Devontae Smith at wide receiver. They're even missing Jalen Waddle at wide receiver. They've just got weapons and firepower everywhere. It's just an embarrassment of riches. Like I said, they've been sitting at number 1 the entirety of the year. Everybody's looking at this game as just Alabama's just going to blow Notre Dame to hell, and Alabama's just going to basically cakewalk their way into the finals, which may happen, but let's not sleep on the Fighting Irish. I know they're wanting to get a bad taste out of their mouth, and that's the blowout loss they took to Clemson in the ACC championship game. They lost that one 34-10, and it wasn't even that close. It was 34-3 before a late garbage touchdown kind of made things a little closer. But Ian Book's been playing some solid ball for Notre Dame, quarterback, 15 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions, 8 rushing touchdowns on the ground. He needs to take care of the ball. He's done a very good job of doing that throughout the year. He's going to have to do more of that if they want any chance of winning this game. They're going to have to limit turnovers, limit mistakes, and force Mac Jones and company for Alabama to make mistakes. Alabama does have somewhat of a chink in their armor on the defensive end. They do give up big plays. We saw that in the game against Florida in the SEC championship game. Bama still won that game, but they gave up 46, and they also gave up 40-plus to Ole Miss through big plays. Notre Dame doesn't exactly have dynamic receivers, but if Ian Book can take shots downfield, risk-free shots, and make big plays, they might be able to get some early scoring on Alabama, hoping to make this close. I think they can do that if Book just manages the game, limits mistakes. They've got to protect Book. But also another thing, I think if they pressure Mac Jones and maybe bottle up Najee Harris somewhat, I know you don't want to leave anybody on an island with Devontae Smith because he will eat you alive, and that big play ability could turn this ugly. But Alabama will be without their starting center. Look to go down with a knee injury in the SEC title game against Florida. So if there's any weakness at all on that offensive line, it may be in the interior of it. So Notre Dame may want to, get some blitzing, get some pressure up the middle, maybe force Mac Jones into some turnovers, some costly mistakes, and maybe try and get Najee Harris backed up a little bit to where they become a little bit one-dimensional. I know you can't totally take away Najee Harris. You can't totally take away Devontae Smith. They've just got weapons galore, but that could be a kind of a moving point in the game. So if Notre Dame takes advantage of that, I think they might have a puncher's chance in this game. I know Notre Dame has a bad track record of big games. I know they got blown out by Clemson a few years ago. A few years ago before that, lost to Alabama 42-14 in the championship game. Then just coming off this blowout loss to Clemson in the ACC championship game. So, they're hearing all this talk. They feel like they belong. I do feel like they belong. But, it just leaves you a bad taste in your mouth with all these big losses under the bright lights, under the highest pressure games. I think they hear that, and I think they keep it close. But Bama's just got too much firepower everywhere. You've got 2 Heisman finalists at quarterback and at receiver, and you had Najee Harris, who finished in the top 10. I think they just have too many weapons. I think Notre Dame can keep it close. Book can manage things. They can get pressure on the quarterback and limit mistakes, but I think that can only go so far. Notre Dame's going to have to play pretty much a perfect game and have Alabama make mistakes. That's a lot to ask for in the semifinal. Nick Saban's been here tons of times. This is their 10th college football playoff game. They're 6-3 in the 9 games before. They've been here Saban knows what it takes. I think Alabama gets it done 38-20, not quite the massacre everyone's kind of putting it out to be. But Bama will advance, I think, to the national championship game. They'll take on the winner of Clemson, Ohio State, who I'll be covering just a little later on. So feel free to like, subscribe on YouTube to Garage Game Day Sports. Feel free to like us. Invite any of your friends to our page on Facebook. Feel free to comment. Anything you want us to talk about, let us know. We appreciate the feedback. So I will see you guys a little later to cover Clemson, Ohio State semifinal. So you guys take care. I will see you soon.